welcome everybody to this is the second of our 4 sessions that we're running, all to do with well-being, if you like, mindfulness, obviously limiting beliefs, which is what we're going to be talking about today, whilst you're job seeking. And similarly, also when you may have just found a job and that imposter syndrome starts to creep in, because we know what it's like the first 3 to 6 months when we start a job can be quite challenging as well to make our mark. So I feel very, very grateful, first of all, to Emma for introducing me to Nick and Jess. Emma ran a session for us a couple of weeks ago on well-being, and Emma will be running another session on the 23rd of April at 12:30, which Emma will tell you about at the end of this particular session. So thank you, Emma, for the introduction. And then obviously to Nick, so 50% of Nick and Jess from obviously Reed-Robbins, who are amazing people that talk about limiting beliefs. One of the reasons that I thought this would be really, really helpful is that as a job search mentor, if you like, I hear a lot of limiting beliefs, lots of I'm too old, or I don't have the right experience if I'm changing jobs, I'm up against too much competition, I'm too young to be taken seriously, or I'm too overexperienced. They're all limiting beliefs. They're all the sort of mental chatter that we talk to ourselves in our heads. And let's be honest, every single one of us has that mental chatter going on. So I'm now going to hand over to you, the expert, who is Nick, who is now going to take this session. Yes, you are. And I'm sure you're going to get lots out of it. So Nick, over to you. And thank you again.
Thank you, Becky. And thanks for the opportunity to speak to these lovely people. And it's nice to see Emma and a couple of other faces I've seen before as well, which is nice. So thanks for this opportunity. You were probably expecting my wife, but she's looking after our little boys, having a bit of a moment. So you have me, and I've done this session loads of times. And more importantly, I use this tool on myself all the time, and it makes big changes in my life. I'm a self-development junkie, if you like. I want to keep getting happier and happier every day. So it's an important tool that I use as well. So I'm a trainer and a coach of peak performance psychology, NLP specifically. And I work in corporates and with the general public, and cover all sorts of issues, all sorts of problems. Nothing scares me, and nothing seems to be a problem with the tools that I've learned over the years. And what I want to do today is run through with you a tool that you can use not only in the context that we're looking at here, as in about getting back into work or looking after yourself once you get back in, but you can use this tool anywhere, in any context or any area of your life that you feel like you could be doing more on, or you feel like you're stuck, or you're struggling, or you're challenged with it. Because like Becky said, we've all got something going on somewhere that's a bit of a challenge, or you've got the internal dialogue that's not particularly useful. And we don't always speak to ourselves that kindly, do we? Let's face it. So this is a wonderful tool. And over the years, as I've been using it, I recognize that as you remove your limiting beliefs, and I'll tell you what they are in a minute, every time you do it, you remove the internal dialogue that comes along with that particular belief. So each time your brain just gets a little bit quieter. And for me, it's almost like the opposite of meditation, where you try and quiet your brain down. This one it quiets it down from the inside out, which is always a lovely thing. Because then you can find your natural resources, and then you're off and running. Okay, so I want this to be a very usable tool for you. It's pretty straightforward. And if you go away and apply it, your life will change. Guaranteed. It might feel very subtle. It might not feel like the biggest, most amazing tool in the world when you do it for yourselves, but it will change your unconscious map of the world. And I'll tell you what that is in a minute as well. Okay, so if it's okay, I'm just going to share some slides. I can find them. All right. In there somewhere. Oh, sorry. All right. So in terms of looking at managing your mindset, this is a a powerful tool we're going to shift, and it's around beliefs in particular. I've lost my screen. I have to use this one. We have a lovely saying in sort of certain elements of performance psychology, is that your beliefs create your experience. So if you're having a struggle or a challenge, or something isn't quite working out right for you, or there's a persistent kind of challenge that keeps coming up for you, or you're persistently not doing the things you know you should do or want to do, then there's going to be a belief in there that you've learned along the way somewhere that's preventing you from having that experience. And that's all it is, really. And myself and Jess and anyone else who's ever done NLP, for example, we have a core belief, a fundamental belief that all of you incredible human beings are that you're incredible and you're kind of limitless. And the only thing that stops you from having the life that you want to have is these pesky little limiting beliefs. So that's a good thing to know. So if we can wade our way through them and get out of the way of these things that are challenging us, then we start to have a different experience. You start to unconsciously behave differently because we remove the block. We don't navigate around it. We don't deal with the fear or the limiting belief. We just get it gone. As I say in Oxfordshire, we get it gone. So that's the best thing to do, we find. Remove the limiting belief. You will start seeing a different version of reality in front of you as you go about your day-to-day life, and then your results will start to change. So that's a really powerful thing. And what is self-belief? I mean, I'm sure you've all got a pretty good idea of what self-belief is anyway, but it's a set of beliefs about yourself and what is possible for you and what you're capable of, or what's not possible for you and what you're not capable of. Because depending on your belief system, you've probably got loads of really good empowering beliefs, like, I know, hopefully, like, I'm a good person, I know the world is generally a good place, or people are nice, something along those lines. And
Nick,
yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. I think you've got the wrong bit of your slide showing,
because
we can only see a little section of the big slide.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Thanks for telling me.
I was like trying to read the writing. It was incredibly small.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was showing only like your presentation view rather than the actual. Yeah, it's still doing it now, actually.
Okay, sorry. I appreciate you telling me that.
Oh no, that's all right. That's fine.
Yeah. What I will do is I'll do it without. Who needs slides? That's better. I can see you now. Every now and then we have some tech issues, and that's okay. Oh, I see the slide. I see the chat now. Thank you. You were telling me, and I couldn't see it. I couldn't see the screen. So okay, reset. So your limiting beliefs are causing your reality, and it's very easy for you to elicit them and challenge them so that you have a different experience. What I want to make sure is that you've all got in your minds already kind of some limitations that you think are potentially holding you back, depending on your current situation, whether you're waiting to jump back into the workplace or whether you've already jumped back in and you're having some challenges. And it could be anywhere in your world that's a block. But I'd like you to start having some ideas. And even if you'd like to, in the chat, just start chucking down some ideas of limiting beliefs you think you might have. And then I'll show you a way of eliciting them anyway, so that you can start to work through them. Okay, because if you don't do anything about them, they will stay there and they will keep influencing you, which is a real shame. So let's get them gone and deal with that. There are some unconscious filters that we have in our mind that cause us to see life a certain way. Now, any of you have done any kind of performance psychology or coaching or anything like that may well know about this. 3 filters, they're unconscious filters, thank goodness, where the information that passes into our brains gets filtered out very quickly, and then we see what we see on the outside world. They are deletion, distortion, and generalization. And these are wonderful filters that are really there and helping us maintain our current map of the world, our map of reality. So all of the results that you've ever had so far, your comfort zone, your levels of success, your relationships, self-worth, self-esteem, and all those different things are guided by this map that you've already got. And that's in your unconscious mind. But we're responding to it all the time as we go through life. Yeah, I can share the slides with you afterwards. That would help. No problem. So just to see some of the chat we've got in the chat already, feeling not good enough, lacking in confidence. Jenny, lacking in confidence because? Maybe underneath there somewhere.
Just generally, really, as a person, I'm just like that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, just internally, yeah, with like everything.
With everything, okay.
So, yeah.
Right, so it's a general thing that wherever you yourself, you feel it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, nice one. So we can still use the same tool on that and help you through, even if it just loosens it. You know, quite often this tool can change ourselves, if you like, really strongly. Other times it's just a bit of a tweak. So apply it and see what happens. What else we got? Insecurities. It keeps moving up. So the competition in the market is fierce at the moment. Yeah, I heard that one for ever since lockdown. Really, that's pretty common for people, which it's a good one to get rid of. Am I good enough? That's a core belief, which we can deal with different tools, but you could certainly challenge it with this one and loosen it. Oh, assuming everyone else will be better than me. Right, okay. These are all really good ones to get out, write down. Make sure you write them down, because if you don't, they can disappear real quick if you're not careful. What else have we got? Knowing what to do, applying to places, or focus on upskilling. If so, what skills? Okay, so not knowing what to do or knowing what to do. Okay. Maybe I'm just lucky instead of actually applauding myself for hard work. Okay, right. That's interesting. I'll never find the right job that suits the hours I want to work. Right, and guess what? I did it. Nice one, Emma. Yeah. So because people's values have changed over the last year or so when it comes to work and spending more time with family, then a lot of people are deciding that they don't want to work 5 days a week anymore. But maybe they feel like that they don't have any options to do that. It's got to be 7 days, 7 days, 5 days, or it's got to be more rigid than that. And when you start removing your limiting beliefs around what's possible there, lots of people start just being straight up honest and asking for jobs at 3 days a week, 4 days a week, or 2, or whatever suits your life, and end up getting that, and it works out really well for them. So that could be an interesting thought in terms of tailoring your job that you want to have to your life, making it work for you. With NLP and with the stuff that we teach, we want you to dare to dream for the kind of job or the kind of future that you really, really want to have. Right? It's very easy to stay in your map of the world and to kind of limit yourself through that. And what I've learned over the years is that if you just take the time to remove those blocks, anything is possible. And I'm doing stuff now that 10 years ago I would never, ever, ever have imagined doing, purely because I've got rid of these blocks myself. So thank you for putting some of those in there in the chat. That's good to know. And make sure you have some written down as well, but I'll show you how to elicit those as we go through. All right, so if our beliefs create your reality, then we need to elicit the limiting beliefs that are causing you any kind of stuckness in your life, or fear or worry or anxiety, or not getting the results you want. It'll stop you moving forwards. So I'd like you to take a piece of paper and write down at the top of that piece of paper the reasons and excuses for me not having my outcome already are. I'll say that again. The reasons and excuses for me not having my outcome already are ... And then just take some time to write down just what rolls off your mind, if you like. Could be things like, I don't have the time to upskill, or there's too many people going for the same job, or I've been out of the game too long. Just be super honest with yourself and write a few things down. And it's the ones, interestingly, the ones that kind of fly out of you really easily are the ones you want to really pay attention to. You could also say to yourself, you want to have a bit of fun with yourself, is the BS I tell myself is, excuse my language, sometimes making it lighthearted is a really useful thing to do. So when you think about your outcome that you want to achieve, you want to have a great job, gives you everything you need, or have a wonderful experience of work, the reasons and excuses for not having that already are okay. Gabby said, I've had an interview a few years ago where the guy interviewing me said the only reason he agreed to the interview was because he wanted to know how old I was. Okay, right. So age often is a limitation for people. Not necessarily you, but it could be for the other people on the other side, the other end, who are needing to be influenced. But if it is for you, then get it written down. Just so you know, I use this technique. I've used it 3 times already this week. So it's a good one to keep playing around with. So the more you go through and you have a challenge in a moment, write that down. Get it in your notes on your phone somewhere, or write it down somewhere that's going to be useful for you. All right, you all got something? Good. If anything else has popped up for you, pop it down in the chat there if you'd like to share it. Or you can put it in to me personally, and I can share it so it's anonymous. Okay. Good. Some of you got steam coming off the pen, which is wonderful. Get it out, get it written down, and then you can start to plow through it if you've got some stuff. Other people, it's just a tweak, right? And it's no big deal. You just know you're blocking yourself in one area. Good. So ideally, when you're thinking about what you want, how you want your life to be, what this job is going to give you, you're thinking about an ideal role for you that's really wonderful for you. It's going to meet all your needs as much as possible, giving you the time you need, the sense of team and the sense of achievement and all those wonderful things, but also the right kind of income, the time for yourself so you can balance your life with work and family and all those wonderful things. And if you're not thinking like that, it's because there's some limiting beliefs in there already, which is good. You can eke them out. So ideally, we want to be dreaming and thinking big. And the more you think big, the more it'll force out your limiting beliefs. Even if you don't want to go that big, you can squeeze them out on purpose. Okay, it's a really useful thing to do. So this is like an ongoing process. I've had a message. So some people have a particular challenge with lack of confidence to update CVs with interview experience. Okay. So yeah, lots of people have challenges around what people think about their experience or what's on the CV, and if there's been a void or a gap in between there. So those are good ones to start figuring through. Good. And you've all got a very fascinating, nuanced detailed, different from everyone else map of the world. So we're going to get all sorts of different flavors of these things. What I will do as we go through this process is I'll show you how to do it. And because you haven't got a time to run through and get you all to do a practice, what I will do is I'll do a demonstration on my trusty flip chart, and I'll show you how it works, so that you can just copy that down yourselves if you'd like to, and then you can rewatch the recording, and then you can just go for it yourself, and at least, I don't know, try and do 2 of these on yourself this week if you can. Well, it's actually between now and next week, even, because it's already Friday, isn't it? Okay, so who's got a particular limiting belief they'd like to tell me about, they'd like to work through? And I'll take some examples and see which one's most suitable for this particular session. Anyone want to share? I'll be gentle with you, don't worry.
Is anyone going to be brave? I can tell you firsthand, having had a coaching session with Nick last night, it was incredibly beneficial. But if not, you're going to have to work on me again. Donna's just put one in the chat, Nick.
Oh, okay. Great. Not feeling good enough. Okay. It's concerning job hunting. Right. Okay. Not targeting companies directly, not targeting contacts, not connecting with new people. Right. So being stuck. Right. Donna, that's Donna. Right. Okay. Nice one. Would you be willing to run through that with me?
Sure.
Great. Okay. Now, a belief like feeling not good enough is a core belief, we would call that, because it affects so many different areas of your life, or actually it affects every area of your life. So a limiting belief like I don't have the time to go job hunting is different, very different from I'm not good enough to do that. And surprisingly, this is a very common belief that people have. So this might be beneficial for a few more of you to play it through in your mind as well, watching Donna have this experience. So great. So Donna, your map of the world, your reality is being maintained because of that belief. And it might be that it's not always been there. It could have been that some of this belief in particular, or the rest of you, your beliefs or your issues, challenges around this situation, if you do have them, has been triggered by this whole COVID situation, lockdown, and a change of career for you, or whatever it might have been. You may have been going along fine, all of a sudden something gets triggered for you. An old belief that's always been there just pops up to the surface. Or you may well have had something like this for a long, long time, and normally with a core belief, it's been there since around the age of 0 to 7. So a nice one to loosen or remove completely if we can. So if you're up for it, Donna, you're very brave, we will just work through this process. And I like to keep coaching, when appropriate, kind of lighthearted, although this is obviously something that's affected you and it's affecting you at the moment. So let's deal with it, shall we?
Right.
This sort of thing, it often requires something else, another tool, just to really remove it properly. But let's see how we go. Often, and never be scared to use this tool on some of the bigger challenges, because a belief, let's say this, a belief is like, you could liken it to a table, okay? A table is supported by its legs, right? We know that. And if you take the legs away of the table will collapse, okay? A belief is the same. A belief is propped up by the evidence for it. And if you were to challenge the evidence and loosen those and move them away, obviously the belief will collapse. It's kind of the same kind of thing. You're knocking the legs away from a table, so it's got nothing underneath supporting it anymore. And what it does is the generalization, the decision that I'm not good enough, for example here, can't really hold itself up anymore, because we're going to go searching for some contradictory evidence, if you like. All of a sudden, it's not rigid anymore. It falls away. And it doesn't sound maybe that's going to make much of a difference, but it makes a very big difference because your beliefs are guiding you through your day. So this is one of the most beneficial things you could ever do for yourself, although you might not end up the process going, wow, I feel amazing, I'm like a different person, Nick. You'll probably just go, oh, okay, well, yeah, that makes sense. And then, bosh, your map of the world is readjusting itself. It becomes enriched, we call it, and then you're off and running. Okay, so I'm going to refer to my trusty flip chart, and I will just make sure you can see the very top of that. There we go. All right. I will share the slides with Becky after the session, so that you've got another version of this on there. But really all you need to do, if you grab a piece of paper, a plain piece of paper if you can, or okay. What you want to do, I can't get my flip chart any further back in my office like this. You want to draw like a grid. I don't know if you can see that just about, where there's a line across the top, gives you a little bit of space to put your limiting belief in. Two main sections either side, and then two wide sections across the bottom where we're going to write in some extra information underneath. So if you can see that, pretty much seeing the whole of the flip chart. Nice one. All right, so Donna, just remind me what the belief is in your words.
So it's concerning job hunting, and well, actually no, the belief is not feeling good enough.
Okay.
But yeah, right now I'm job hunting, and it just feels like an uphill battle.
Cool.
An
okay.
uphill struggle.
And is it? Sorry.
But yeah, not feeling good enough.
Right. Brilliant. So we'll take that and we'll put that in the top left-hand corner. Okay. So I don't feel good enough was what you said a moment ago. If you can see that.
Yeah.
Good. All right, so that's the first step. We take the limiting belief, and when you've written your list down of reasons and excuses for not having your outcome already, run down them and choose the one that feels like it's most in the way, the biggest blocker for you currently. And then you can start to just work through them as you go, because you'll normally get more bang for your buck with the one that feels like it's the biggest block for you. But you can just start from the top and work your way down the bottom if you wanted to. So what we're going to do, no doubt, Donna's got lots of evidence, which we're going to gather evidence in this big block here. Donna will have lots of evidence for the fact that she doesn't feel good enough, right? There'll just be lots of times where that's been all the way through from school, all the way through to now, potentially. So we can take evidence from anywhere. What we want to do, there's a module in your brain called a reticular activating system, right? And what it does is it focuses in on the things that are important to you or you place importance on emotionally. So when you have a core belief like this up and running, it's almost like your reticular activating system is looking out for things to back up that belief, right? And it's almost like you're doing this and you're pinching off all of your awareness. Can you play along with me, will you? Could you do this for me? Put your spectacles on, or your what do you call them? Binoculars, right? All of a sudden, you've lost your peripheral vision, haven't you?
Yeah.
You're trapped in your foveal vision. So if this is our limiting belief and we're looking through life like I'm not good enough, and that's all you can see. What you need is your other resources. So if you take them away now, and thanks for playing along, you all of a sudden your awareness expands, right? And the stuff that you can see now that you couldn't see a moment ago. So that's what we're doing here. This section we're going to look at getting some evidence will be, this is the evidence we're looking at through these glasses. And then once we take the glasses away, we'll look at some evidence for the polar opposite belief, which would be, and we keep it nice and simple, rather than I don't feel good enough, we'll say I do feel good enough. All right, simple as that. Even if it makes you cringe or freaks you out a little bit, that's fine. So I do feel good enough. All right. And then all we do, in order to enrich your map of the world, we get evidence for both, and then something interesting happens. Okay, right. So, and thanks again for working through this, Donna. I would like you to think about and give me some times in your life, if you can, where you haven't felt good enough. Whether it's performance in areas, or whether it's not doing things you wanted to do, or
yeah, I mean, I guess there's probably two main things. I've got Irish Catholic parents, so had a very Irish Catholic upbringing. You know, we were made to, or rather, gosh, I'm just trying to choose my words carefully. You know, we grew up and we were, you know, encouraged to sort of, you know, go out and, you know, get careers and, you know, work hard and, you know, build a life for us. So if things kind of didn't go to plan along the way, so I sort of felt like I had sort of high expectations from my parents along the way, and I still feel like that. I think it's just a generational thing. And the other thing is, you know, although I've been working for, I mean, 24 years now, even if I can't solve a problem at work, and I've tried, you know, so many different ways, and, you know, even if it's out of my hands, I can still feel like a bit of a failure. Right.
Okay, so times you haven't been able to solve challenges and problems.
Yeah, like move the mountain when the mountain can't be moved.
So times when I've not been able to solve problems. We all go through that moment, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one piece. And the other one you said was, is it pressure you feel from your parents?
Yeah, I guess, you know, expectations from parents.
Right. Right, okay. Keep going to give me at least a couple more if you could. So just subtle times where you felt, you know, not good enough for that.
I guess it could even be in some social situations where I'm, say, with, you know, I'm with a crowd of friends and they're all chatting away and I'm sort of not conversing. I don't know. I kind of feel a bit anxious about that and get a bit paranoid that I'm kind of not contributing to the dialogue. Would that be one?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So in some social situations. Yeah. There's one more.
Oh goodness.
Even whatever you're going through right now. What's it? You said in the chat that you're not doing some things that you should be doing.
Just finding it hard to focus. Maybe would that be? Or my lack of focus. I don't feel good enough.
You're finding it hard to focus because,
you know, because we're just in this strange time, and it's yeah, we're all at home, but but I guess because I'm on my own, I just feel very alone. But I know that's not. I know there's people out there that can help, or at least, you know, I can pick up the phone to.
Yeah.
I don't know, isolation. I don't know. I don't know. I'm finding it hard. What?
Okay, there are. Hopefully, you do have people you can chat to, and there's lots.
Yeah.
That's good. Just to check in.
Yeah. Thank you.
In terms of, and I'm sorry you feel like that, by the way.
Thank you. For the record, I love my parents. They're cool, but they drive me insane.
Yeah, well, I'm sure a few of us can resonate with that. Okay, so yeah, no judgment. There's never any judgment when we do these things. This is just our map of the world, right? And this
I guess say with job interviews, you know, some days you win, some days you lose. So yeah, the selection process and.
Okay, so in your message, you said you're not spending enough time on the hunting, right? Yeah, you're not targeting companies. You're just not taking the action and the steps you know you want to or need to? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But all the other stuff is evidence that you've mentioned too. I just want to get that one down as a clear one. So not taking action. And this is what limiting beliefs do to us. They're very subtle. We're responding to them very unconsciously. They stop us from doing the things we know we need to do. Like one of the ones I had really stopped me was, I can't work with elite athletes because I've never been an elite athlete myself, right? And that's all I wanted to do is work with athletes. And I said that in front of the wrong person, and she challenged it on me, and that was gone. And now I work with them. And it was almost like I had nothing. Never, ever in a million years would I ever do that in my life. 10 minutes later, we change the belief, and then oh, okay, I can do it. I've got all the skills I need. It's an amazing moment for me. So that's why I love this tool so much.
Brilliant.
So we've got some evidence here for evidence that you do at the moment, currently, you don't feel good enough. So times when you've not been able to solve problems, expectations from parents causing that bit of pressure, maybe challenges in social situations where you haven't felt able to chip in enough or whatever it might be. And then at the moment it's tough taking action towards, are you working on, you're not working at the moment?
So I'm not working at the moment. So, you know, in a normal world, it's harder to find work when you're not in work. But now it's even harder because there's so many more candidates in your field. Look, I'm trying to take advantage of the time, and yeah, I've been doing all the updating my CV and LinkedIn posts and reaching out to recruiters. So there are some things that I'm doing, but I know there could be other things that could be more, that could bring in, better results.
Okay, cool. So
that's me listing my reasons and excuses. That's kind of brought it to the surface. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I can do that. And it's worth challenging the other one, that there's a lot of people out there going for work. Challenge that one. Okay, so this is your current version of reality. This is your reticular activating system focused on this because it comes along with strong negative emotion and in those moments when you need to apply yourself more or be more of who you'd like to be. So we've got some evidence for that. Now we want to take the glasses away and then get some evidence for you in your life, Donna, that you do feel good enough. And that can be any area, any context, ever. Sometimes we just need a crack in the door to help us see and find our resources. Have you had some times where you do feel good enough?
Yeah, but you always tend to think of, I guess we always think of the negatives rather than the positives. So yeah, I do need to remind those. Yeah. Yes, lots, like, getting someone's passport to them like a minute before their Eurostar's due to leave. I'm a PA, so yeah, I've had lots of wins.
Okay.
Yeah, lots and lots.
Keep going.
Yeah, I just know I don't remember that.
Okay. This could be anywhere, any context ever. So the things that you enjoy doing or you're good at, it could be outside of work.
Yeah, helping, say, friends of the family with work experience placements, or
Does that make you feel good?
Yep.
Is there anything you're good at? You're really good at?
Oh yeah, loads, Nick.
Well, hit me with it.
We just don't talk about it. Yeah, no, I mean, diary management, organizing slick travel itineraries, events, parties,
Keep going.
I kept photos of all my little nieces and my niece and nephew when they were born, from their early years, and my sister, their mother, unfortunately lost those pictures, and I happened to have them, all for her. So at the time, that was something I wanted to do. I wanted to create like a library of those pictures. Unfortunately, there's now a benefit to that, because my sister then lost a computer lost all those pictures from her computer.
Okay.
So I don't know, when I say like my qualities like caring, thoughtfulness, even my skills, I can solve problems.
Right.
So I'm just a bit bashful with talking about them.
Yeah. And you've managed to get work before, right? You got jobs before?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you done all right?
Sorry?
You've done all right in those jobs?
Yep.
Yeah, good. There you go. That's a nice congruent. Yep.
Yeah.
Good. That's what we're trying to elicit, that kind of feeling, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Any more? We could keep going and going and going. I know that much, but let's get one more where you do feel good enough. Certainly, maybe in the work, getting job context. Have you been up against lots of people before and had the job, got the job?
Yeah, I mean, just dealing with a fast-paced environment and lots of work, and sometimes in my role I've done office management, and I've sort of worked in offices where it hasn't had any TLC, and the staff really appreciate it, and I really appreciate that. That makes me feel a sense of accomplishment.
Right. Good.
Yeah, solving problems is kind of, it's nature, whether it's finding a meeting room for 50 people or getting a table in a hot new restaurant. It's the it's really the it's just sometimes it's the craziest requests that are often put onto a PA that's literally just not possible. I mean, fortunately, I haven't been asked to get any unpublished manuscripts of the new Harry Potter book. I'm referencing Devil's Wear Prada here, the film.
Okay.
Yeah, so sorry, I'm waffling.
No, that's all good. It's nice to waffle on the stuff that we know we're good at, right? So I put down adaptable, flexible would be another great word for it. Okay, good. So thank you. And well, most people, might be a bit, for yourselves, if you do this technique, it might be a little bit slow getting started, but once you get going, you keep going and going, and there's loads of good stuff that pops out, because you're all of a sudden, you're able to access all those resources that you've already got, experiences, skills, all sorts of good stuff that you weren't currently paying attention to because of that pesky limiting belief up there. All right, so interestingly, we've got evidence for the limiting belief, because that's true, right, in your world.
Mm-hmm.
We've also got evidence for the opposite belief. Interesting. So how can the limiting belief be accurate? It can't really, can it? Because the opposite is also accurate too.
Mm-hmm.
So in this next block down, I'll just drop this down a little bit for you. What we want to say is, sorry, I'm in a bit of a tangle there. What is more accurate than the limiting belief? When you think about all the evidence you've got here, in all of your life, what's more accurate than I don't feel good enough? Because there's lots of times when you have lots of strengths and lots of good things.
Well, can I say all of it?
Yeah. We want a little snappy little, almost like having a new belief to put in its place.
So
it could be I am good enough because.
Yeah.
Or.
I want to say I'm good enough because I am good enough, but it sounds quite boring.
Well, does it resonate with you? I'm good enough because it could be all sorts of stuff. I'm good at my job. I'm good at helping people. I'm adaptable. I'm adaptive. I'm good in fast-paced environments. I'm good at management, and I'm a good problem solver. All these different things. So you could say I'm good enough because I know I've proved it. I'm good enough because I'm a blooming human being, and that's good enough for me. It's up to you.
I'm good enough because I'm a super PA.
Great. Does that feel good?
Oh, it feels a bit, yeah, like you say, cheesy.
Is that you? That's all right. Well, you just want to get something written down first of all, and then you can tweak it if you want to make it feel even better for you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I have a brainwave between now and 1, I'll let you know.
Good. So I feel good enough because what's it?
I am a super PA.
Yeah. Nice. That feels better than that, right?
Yeah.
I don't feel good enough. Well, yes, we've all got times where we have felt that, but when you look at the evidence, you've got lots of great skills, great experience, great values, lots of things you've done really well. And we can focus in on that. And then we've got something new to put in there. I feel good enough because I'm a super PA, right? You're good at what you do, aren't you? Yeah. Yeah. So the last block across the bottom, what we want to put in there is, what action is possible now? So we've gone from being stuck to having a different way of looking at the situation. So what action is possible now for you, Donna? In terms of you taking steps towards your getting the work you want to have, having the kind of career you want to have.
I think I've really got to, I've got to set myself some goals. And right now I'm distracted by sort of lots of little sort of life admin and just that kind of thing. And I kind of need to put that to the side. And I think I need to set myself some targets.
Yeah, great. Could you start doing that today?
Yeah.
Great. Can someone in this room check in on you? Make sure you're doing it. A bit of accountability. Becky, nice one. Good. Okay. Does that feel more doable now?
Yeah, definitely.
Good. We want to have a shift in how we feel about it. Yes.
Yeah.
We want to literally break that decision that we've made about ourselves, because it's not true. Really. It's not accurate. That's the thing. It's not accurate because there's all this stuff here that tells you the opposite. So
yeah.
Hopefully you'll feel better. That decision won't pop into your mind anymore at an unconscious level, so it won't be there to respond to. So the more you can hone in your new belief instead, whichever that might be for you, then you'll start to form a different belief naturally all by itself. Okay?
Yeah.
Great. And thank you so much.
Yeah, this is a really, really great exercise. Thanks so much, Nick.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
You're all so much more than you think you are, and even these moments where you're challenged, it's an illusion, and you've had experiences that have caused you to make you feel like that, but it's because of the negative emotion that's attached to them. If you can ping away from that and look at the other stuff that's available to you, your resources, then you'll start to figure out, actually, okay, that's not accurate, and you can kind of move beyond it and then start taking action. So that'd be great if you could start thinking about some really great outcomes, Donna, like really ones that you really, really want. Think beyond your limiting beliefs and try and work that through and think of something really compelling. And then Becky will check in with you.
I've just taken a picture of that, and I've got a A big notice board. So I'm going to write this all out in big blocks, just so I can look at this now. So yeah, I'm going to get strategic and set myself some goals. Right. And try and move away the life admin, because it can always
What we need in life is a compelling future, right? That's even more relevant than it ever has been in our lives. Now we need a really compelling future. Dare to dream for how you want your life to look. Make it happen, make it work towards it. There's so much more that we're all capable of, all of us. And if you can start to work through this process, if you did one a week for 6 months, can you imagine how different your life would be, right? And what does it take? 20 minutes, half an hour, right? Keep a notepad with you, write your limiting beliefs down as they pop up, and then get them gone. Just work through. And if you need to use someone else on this, who's been in this situation, in this group, who gets the process, then you can start to really make some massive changes. And don't be afraid to go for the big ones either, because that's the big one. Right? And then just keep taking action. If you can wake up every morning, spring out of bed because you've got a really interesting outcome to work towards, then that's a wonderful place to be. You'll get the best out of yourself and other people. And not only do you need to believe in yourselves, you need someone to believe in you too. So grab hold of someone that believes in you and sees much more in you that you can see in yourself. And be that for someone else as well. Very important thing to do. So one other thing to do with this, I know we're run out of time, but what I want you to do is something called future pacing, we call it in NLP. Imagine future scenarios that you want to move yourself into and see them working out the way you want them to work out. Okay, so I am good enough. So you think about having an interview or putting yourself out there, putting your CV out there. Future pace it. Imagine seeing it in the future, in your imagination. Feel good about it and keep rehearsing that as much as you can. And before you know it, some coincidences will happen, some amazing calls will come out of nowhere, emails will come out of nowhere. You'll start to have some interesting experiences that will help you along the way. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Donna. Thank you, Becky. Hopefully that's been useful.
It definitely has. Thanks, Donna, for being our willing volunteer. I was a bit worried I'd have to talk about running or something, and that would be completely irrelevant to everybody on this call, potentially. But Nick, that was brilliant. I love all these strategies. And do you know what? Just getting it down in black and white sometimes, because we do naturally as humans, we do draw ourselves to the negative emotions more over than the positive. And actually, when we actually turn around and say, well, what evidence have we got that confirms that's real? You've just done that, Donna, because you've actually challenged that thought completely. So I think this is a fantastic, so simple to do as well. So well done you. I shall be checking in on you later for your targets and your goals. Thank you, Nick, as well. It was absolutely enlightening. So I really, really appreciate it. I'm sure everybody else does as well.
It's a pleasure. Sorry about the tech issues.
Oh gosh, don't worry about that. We'll obviously get the slides out and obviously the recording of this as well, so you can watch it back and then obviously do the exercise yourself as well. And so as I said at the beginning of this webinar, Emma and I came together to run 4 sessions for you. This is number 2 with an expert, and Emma's going to be running the next session, which is going to be on the 23rd of April at 12:30. So it's always a little lunch break. Emma, do you want to just unmute yourself and just tell everyone a little bit about that session? So it's all ready to book on Eventbrite now if you want to book your space.
Yeah, absolutely. If you don't mind, because you know how much I love talking, I just want just my kind of I've been through that session with Nick so many times and I love it. It's helped me so much to get jobs that I want and start my business, and even with being a mum and some of the self-limiting beliefs that come out with that as well. So and what I noticed from that session was actually it's almost like we need more practice talking about how awesome we are. So I'm wondering, Becky, and I know that we said we'd do 4 sessions, but I feel like there's such an opportunity to do more than 4. So I'm wondering if that's a discussion that we can have around how can we give an opportunity for people to practice talking about how amazing they are. So when it comes to an interview situation, it just rolls off the tongue, right? So perhaps that's an opportunity. So I'll put that out into the universe. And then the other thing is, yes, so we've got the session that we're going to do around mindfulness. So some of you I may have met on other sessions that we've done previously around mental health and awareness and well-being. And I love sharing with people that things that have worked for me, because it may work for you. So that's why Nick's here today. NLP has really helped me. I would really recommend checking out Nick and Jess's course that they run as well. It's brilliant. It's two-day course and it's free, which I love a bargain. Yeah. So it's a foundation practitioner course that you can do. So it's the foundation section that's the freebie bit, and there's no kind of tie-in, and you can repeat it as many times as you like because there's so much to learn. So we'll make sure that you get the information about that, because I'm all over bargains. So the mindfulness session that I'm going to do is essentially, so I teach an 8-week mindfulness course, and I used mindfulness when I was going through a very difficult time in my life with anxiety and depression. And it really helped me last year when I was going through redundancy, as there are some really quick techniques that you can use pre-interview, post-interview, some really simple techniques that can kind of reduce some of that anxiety. So that's what I'll be sharing with you within our session. So please come and join.
Absolutely. I'm just quickly popping in there. Annalise already been on your course, Nick. She's just put in the chat about being on your foundation course, so highly recommended. I'm just going to put everything's actually all on my website.
There we go.
Yeah, it's all on my website, and if you go to the partnership section, you'll be able to see the link to the Nick and Jess's website, and also a referral email address as well. But I'll put it on the follow-up email that comes out with the recording, so no problems at all.
Thank you.
But that's no worries. But it's lovely to see you all, and from all of us, just want to wish you a lovely weekend, and ready for the next session on the 23rd. And I will follow this all up with an email later on today. So have a lovely one. Take care.
Thanks, everybody. Well done.
See you later. Thanks, Nick. And thanks, Emma.